Hello. Hello there. We're live again. Um, welcome to live streaming the development of Sons of Soul Crow's Nest, episode something like 18, or I think it's 18. Might have been 19. Excuse me. I think I'm getting a cold coming on, so I might just be pinching on the nose a little bit. But won't be gross or anything. If I was ever going to be too gross, I would cancel the stream and not put anyone through it. You or me. Except for that one time I did, but never again. So, if you watch much of the stream, or you'll notice right now, I'm constantly fighting with my mic stand to stay up. Good news, I bought myself a Christmas present, getting a new Blue Yeti mic and a tabletop stand and a pop shield that isn't so... I don't know, I have a full stage microphone and stand kind of set up, and it's a bit bigger than it needs to be, and it's always sort of... It's reaching across, whereas a mic stand would prefer it to be sort of standing closer to vertical, and it keeps the weight of the microphone over 2 hours, just drops it down a bit because the mic stand is a bit old. So that won't be a problem certainly after Christmas. I don't know if I'm gonna... I'm really hard to buy Christmas presents for, so someone will probably insist that they give me money for that and make it my present, but we'll see. After the new year, definitely I'll have the new mic, if not in a week or two. So that is one piece of news. What else we got? I did say today we'd be doing some Fungus work, so we will. I did manage to speak to Chris Gregan from Snozbot, who made the Fungus Unity plugin, so I've got a few tips there, but we found that some of the stuff that was happening to me is just fungus bugs, or probably not my fault, is what we figured out. So that's kind of good, but also means you can't fix it today, but we'll do some of that. I also said we'd do, or we might get as far as, depending on how long we spend with Fungus in the next 2 hours, doing GIF recordings. I said I'd record some footage of me playing the demo, and basically I spent all day yesterday writing the blog and didn't record that footage, and this morning I was talking to Chris. So that's not been done. I might have a video or two. Well, I do have a couple of videos. I'm not sure how suitable they are. I just wanted to get a suitably action-oriented video, but we might be able to do some of that with the ones I have already. But it's not ideal because I didn't record the ideal footage. As I said, that's because I was doing the blog, and I don't know if you've ever only just watched this stream, or if you've been to the RetroNeo Games site, but I do it at the moment. It's a monthly blog. It used to be a weekly blog, and so yesterday's entry was episode 8 of the Player 2 series I do. So playing games with the girlfriend, and we do trying to work towards getting playing co-op games together and stuff, but we got very different skill levels and interests even, so we're just playing different games together. We did Oxenfree, Stardew Valley, Beginner's Guide, and Super Hexagon this time. So that's on RetroNeoGames.com, the top of the page, if you have any interest. I think I said it last time, but hopefully I'm going to start playing games on live streams, on a different... I'll still do the 2 development ones a week, but I might add a night where I play games, like sci-fi games that have influenced this Sons of Soul Crow's Nest. So I just thought that might be interesting. And what kicked that off is I was just sharing a video of myself playing Space Beast Terror Fright with the game's developer. I just got in a chat and asked, would you like to come on and play co-op if we did a live stream? So hopefully that'll happen soon. If you want to figure out when that's happening or anything, do follow on Twitter. I mentioned that I was going to record the footage from the demo of this game, like this scene that we're in right now. That demo is publicly available now on retroneogames.com/SOS Crow's Nest. Or just go to the retroneogames.com and there's a logo. Click on that, and then there's a download button on the next page. It's only about 10 minutes long. Give you a good feel for the game. Shorter if you're better. First playthrough is probably 10 minutes. And hopefully you enjoy it, and I'd really appreciate any feedback. But now we'll get into making it. So on the last episode, we were going to do a 5-minute job of adding the escape key to close the radial menu. Which I'll just bring up the right scene. I don't want save, I think. I hope not. So the radial menu here, and it's just got some of the feedback from the demo was that you couldn't press escape to get out of this menu, and they wanted to. You can press Q to bring it up and Q to bring it down, but couldn't get out with escape. Now you can. But that simple job took most of the stream last week, because it just kept throwing up new problems. Mostly to do with my own code and just finding what was happening where, like it would come up twice or not at all. And then the last thing we did was we were adding in, and we can still do this. We can do it better now because I fixed it. But adding viewers' names from the chat into the list of names to be, random pilot names when pilots are generated. Where's that? Here. So the names I'd put in were like the call signs for male and female. They were always empty whenever I'd go here. But we added Nestor in from the chat last week, and he's still there. We fixed it. So if anyone was watching that and wanted the solution, I'd put in the line. I'll bring it up actually. Editor. Custom pilot names inspector. There's a line you have to add at the end of like on inspector GUI that sort of sets everything to save at the end of that tick. It can happen without doing this line, but editor utility dot set dirty, and my names is what we're calling the reference to the names script that holds the names, call signs, and first names, last names. So, simple enough, one line fixed it. You just had to know what it was and put it in. And I actually I realized I had that problem already when I was making my custom editor, the Sol Ed, for like putting in stats for craft. Like here's the demo, the enemy for the demo. The first one is here. He's got these stats. The second one is this. So making that, I had these problems and I'd already solved it essentially, but I couldn't remember on stream what it was. As soon as I turn off the camera, I remember that it's this line, and now it's fixed. So that's the news. So what did we get into? A bit of fungus stuff, I guess. But I can't. A lot of the fungus problems I was having, I was assuming were easy to solve, that I just couldn't find, and so just asked for a bit of help. But then they became much deeper problems, some of them. So what do we got? Which scene are we in? We're in the test scene. Gonna go back to the. It looks like the same, doesn't it? Actually. Yeah. Back to the demo tutorial scene, because it's the only scene that I have Fungus implemented in yet. And we were using it for the story elements, the text. So actually the stuff I did earlier to speed things along that I definitely want to undo. Broke several things just to speed up the testing, but broke the pacing of the demo entirely, so don't want that. Also, tell me in the chat if should have the webcam image of me up in the top corner, and it's been known to just freeze and stop, and I can't restart it without restarting the stream, so it just will turn it off if it freezes stupidly. Or if you think I'm ugly, let me know. I can take it. I'll turn it off. But I don't know. It's just one of those things you do, isn't it? Put the webcam up there. Makes it more personable, even if you think it's. I realize that watching other streams when I could see the guy or girl, just you don't notice that you were used to it until it's gone, and you're just listening to a voice on a different stream. Sometimes you're like, "Who is this person?" I don't know. I think it's probably worth having there. Plus, sometimes I try to explain things awkwardly using my hands or guitar picks. Explain ships interacting. That was more the first few episodes, but it'll happen again. I guess it's useful to have the webcam. I should get toys, though. Toy spaceships to actually explain things. But there you go. It's a Christmas present idea for me. Sorry, I got something in my eye. Seriously, I'm not even joking. It's making me blink really weird. Okay. So I'm being really careful right now because we opened up so many Fungus scripts earlier and messed around with stuff and then just ended the Skype call, and I'm not entirely sure if I undid the things I needed to undo. So to explain the first problem we're having, of which there were a few, so let's see. There's a Fungus bug that I'm having. I don't know if you use Fungus yourself, if you ever have. I haven't seen it in, like, it's not in the Fungus example scenes, it's fine, using what seems to be the exact same settings and stuff, but if, let's see, if I start the first scene, get rid of that, that's okay. I'm going to open back up the demo script that I just closed. And just so it'll trigger the text sooner. Hopefully you can see it on through the stream, like the refresh rate is synced well enough with the game, but you'll notice when the text comes up first, it sort of prints the full line out for a frame and then does this nice kind of layout, but the very first frame it's printing the full line, usually. Like there, I don't know if you can catch it, but it's like a big long line of white and then it starts typing out text. So that's what I thought would be kind of an easy thing to get rid of somewhere, but we were hunting that for a while and it seems to be some sort of Fungus bug, and it seems not to be anything that I caused myself in previously hacking Fungus to put my own inputs in. So that's one that I thought I would fix on stream but can't, but if you're having that issue now, you know it's probably a Fungus issue. If you're having that issue, actually do please say in chat or the comments if you're watching this as a video later, just so I can give more information back to Chris. Every little helps, as Tesco say. So what do we need now? The other Fungus thing. Right. Chris Cregan was in the chat a few weeks ago and proposed a solution to a problem I was having. So, let's see. Right, to demonstrate, normally when the Fungus block comes up, you can press the skip button and it'll skip to the end of that current block. And just, say press E key to continue. Or if you don't skip, it'll just get there itself and then say press E to continue. And that's how most of them work, You can sort of skip it as it's coming out and then wait for it's very, adventure gamey, game texty. They usually sort of give you the text bit by bit and you can skip to the end of it, like if you want, nearly every RPG or adventure game. But, okay, whatever. So there's cases here where if it's the last bit of text, I don't I would sort of like it to not stay on screen, because there's like when the first enemy spawns. I'll just skip to that. I'm gonna undo this before I forget. Undo, save. The text shouldn't have come up in the first second of the game. That's just what that was. Where are we on? To the other checkpoint of first enemy. Might just have to wait a few seconds. I'm just trying to figure out where the where I could speed it up, but yeah, it's not too far to wait. Okay, so this one doesn't skip. I can only skip it to completion, but I can't clear it off the screen until it's done, until it wants to clear. 2 seconds, I think, or 3 seconds. You see it there. And the last one is 2.5. So the reason for that is enemies are coming in. If I'm waiting for the player to press E, that streak that you can see up in front, that's an enemy spawning in, and he's not waiting for the text or anything. He has sort of waited for some text, and this is just like, you've got incoming, and I don't want to let the player avoid the combat by just never pressing E and just waiting forever. Kind of takes away from the urgency of it. So like here he's gone and there's no danger around, so I'm allowing the player to just read and make sure they read and skip. But it's situations where danger's coming, usually when enemy fighters are incoming, that what I want is that the text will disappear by itself if it's been on screen too long, because you don't want it to stay flashing down here with the E key flashing at them while there's lasers flashing and everything. It's just needlessly adding to the complication. Like, adds to the... It's a distraction. Sure, the combat should be tense and stressful and stuff, but not like just stupidly because there's still a text prompt flashing at you. So I want to get rid of it. But the player might have been in the middle of reading it, and then the enemy comes in, and so they'll instantly flip their attention to the enemy shooting at them, and then the text is just still there. So I have to disappear it after a timeout. So there are wait commands and stuff. I don't know why I'm playing the game while I'm talking. It's kind of on autopilot with my hands. So enemy retreating. So here it would say they're running for it, try to take them out, but watch for asteroids. Excuse me. And let's see, this one is not waiting for the click, which means it'll just get to the end of this block, not wait for click, and then it basically finishes the block straight away because it's not waiting for your click. So as soon as it prints asteroids, ! It moves on to the next block. So if this was a fade when done, it would fade instantly and you wouldn't have had time to actually read it. So I've had to put in a wait for 2 seconds block. And then put in sort of a dummy say block where it says nothing. It doesn't wait for click, and it does fade when it's done. So essentially that'll complete instantly and then fade. So you've got this thing that doesn't fade away, wait for 2 seconds, and then I'm having a small eureka moment, but it's a half a eureka moment. And then this will fade it. But what that's left me with is you can't actually get rid of... Normally you can press E to skip and then get rid of text, like skip it typing out, like just press E and it'll skip typing out. But now it's doing nothing, and now it's skipping the whole thing. So it's kind of inconsistent that E sometimes does nothing. And I would like you to be able to clear the text always if you're done with it. In this case, you have to wait for it to time out. I'm just trying to trigger the retreat message. Right. So they're running for it. Try to take them out, but watch for asteroids. But it's not waiting for you to press the E key. I can't get rid of that text. Now what would be ideal is if I could skip a wait block. Essentially the wait just, once it comes in here, it's not going anywhere for 3 seconds. And I've had to put this in because if I skip the last block of text, and normally you fade the last block of text, but you also pair that with waiting for the click. So once it sort of gets to here, and the default is that it does wait for a click, so it'll get to here and stay on screen until you click. And by click I mean, in our case it's the E key, but like whatever the input is. But if I wanted to fade because it's the last one and I do skip this, it'll instantly get to the end and instantly fade, and then we're stuck. So I had to put a hard 3 seconds in here that I can't skip. Now if I could skip a wait block, which is something I didn't ask Chris about, which would have been one solution. We discussed another solution to hacking Fungus to add the functionality. This might, if I could hack the wait block, might be easier. Let's see. There's a load of Fungus scripts. Wait is one of them. Oh, it is open. Okay. So invoke. So on enter is when we get into, it's gone. When we get into here from here, I guess. So what happens when it goes on enter is the wait block will invoke on wait complete, which is there for the length of time. It's pretty safe to assume that's the 3 seconds in our case. On wait complete, continue. And continue is fine, go on to the next one. It's easy enough to guess what continue is doing. So what I was going to try was adding functionality to the say dialog to add, you can put in these text tags, like brackets, W equals a number that'll wait for 5 seconds in text, but if you press the input key while it's coming out, it'll skip to the end of that, including the end of the wait. So what he said to do was to combine the wait and the X. Exit advance to the next command without waiting for input. I mean, essentially you can do the X if you just don't check the bool wait for input. So it wasn't a solution, it was just a different way of getting to the same problem. But we were going to add a type of tag, we were going to hack one in, or rather allow the wait one to take a second input that would let me just also add stuff. But it might just be easier to do this, so let's see. On wait complete. On enter, invoke that. So what I want to do is like have an update for the duration that will allow input. But I also don't want it on by default. I only want it on these certain ones. And actually it's still a messy solution, because I still have to have, where one say block would have done it, I have 3 blocks, 2 say blocks and a wait block. So actually, in the interest of keeping it tidy, maybe I don't want to do the wait, because then I would still need say, wait, say. but I do sort of see how I could fix it in a messy way. Let's try the tidy way. So where was it? I think it was in say dialogue. I did put in a to do. No, that's not what we wound up wanting to do. Yeah, here it is in the writer script. The writer is what controls basically the text coming out slow, piece by piece, you know. This bitty like printout is controlled by the writer script. It's why it doesn't just come out full text at once. Okay. So this is where we were gonna do something, but it's essentially we didn't do it earlier. Like we just said, this is where you would do it. So it's still going to be a bit of trial and error. Now what was it I wanted to do in here exactly? This is for the weight tag, the brackets W equals. So if I say is this where we are actually? Rec reached. This isn't where am I in the game at the moment? I'm at the first enemy. Okay, so right, so it's, yeah. Waiting for 2 seconds, saying the thing, I can't get rid of it, it's waiting for 3 seconds. It's like I can finish it printing, but I can't actually get rid of it. Then it's waiting 3 seconds, then it's printing out a new thing I can't get rid of. And I would like to always have the E key finish typing what's coming out, and if it is finished, skip it. And that's what usually happens, except for these cases that I've sort of awkwardly changed wait for click because I want it out of the way if enemies are coming. So I will do my tests on this first message here. So instead of that wait 3 seconds block that you can see up here, I'm going to turn that off and go wait equals 3, which has the same effect, sort of. It has the same effect if I don't press anything, right? So types out, I haven't pressed anything, it's waiting 3 seconds, then it'll do the next message. Problem is, if I start to skip it while it's coming out, it'll instantly skip to the next message. So it's just gone. I didn't get a chance to read that because when I skipped, I didn't skip until here and then wait for 3 seconds. When I pressed skip, I skipped till after the wait and went straight into the next speaking, the next say dialogue. So specifically what I want to do now, we were talking about if the parameters list count is 2 in this case. So that's one parameter. W equals 3 is one parameter. And we said if I could add a second parameter, I could essentially put in anything, like gibberish. So if now the parameter list count there should be 2. So let's just see. So I'm just going to print out what the second parameter is. It should say gibberish. literally gibberish, because that's what I typed. Yeah, okay, so it did print it. So I did what I said I wanted. Now I'm trying to actually think, wait, how does that help me? What were we going to do? New condition, maybe count input flags. God, I'm glad I wrote that down earlier. Okay, input flags. Trying to see how he uses that param list before. Vote duration is a second if. I'm wondering now, should I skip this stuff as well? Alright, count the input flags. Input flags are this, what Fungus is just calling, the skip key pressed or clicked or whatever. That's an input flag. So we were going to say if the thing to bear in mind here is that what I want is that the text will stay on screen and disappear after time anyway. But if it's on screen, you can also press to have it disappear before the time is over. And that I can't get both of those things currently. I can have one or the other. What would we want to do here? I just want to count the amount of input flags. It's not my code now, this Fungus code, so I'm not familiar with it. So I'm like, anything I change, God, and even where do I change it to make it work? It was here earlier on, we commented out that break, and so it wouldn't end when the input flag was pressed. But then that it sort of worked for that case, but broke all the other cases. So how do we get to do wait? Do wait's down here. Okay, so I don't want to get rid of that. I do want do wait. Comes straight after this. What did I want to do in here though? I don't just want to debug it. If the parameter list count is 2, parameter list is 0. What was happening with that? It's a little comfort that no one's watching this live right now. If you're watching it on a VOD or YouTube later, do feel free to press the right arrow a few times, skip a few seconds, just giving this a good think. I was a little wary of doing this on stream, but at the same time I said if Chris wants to help me with Fungus, I'd be happy to stream some Fungus stuff just to put more content out there. But this isn't the most useful so far because I'm figuring it out as I go. I don't know if you ever watched the Cooking with Unity, Made with Unity program by Max Moreau, Pushy Pixels. It's really useful because he actually shows his mistakes, so you realize that people who know what they're doing do typos, assume that something works the wrong way, and he sort of takes an easy thing and fixes it in 20 minutes. Usually, sometimes it's been 40. It doesn't do the program anymore, but there's loads of older episodes. So I'm going to use that as a reference to defend my sitting here just figuring things out for a moment. Because showing the mistakes is more useful to students than actually flying through something. It's encouraging to, if I get it right, it's encouraging to viewers, I guess. Or it should be. Boring, but encouraging. And you can skip seconds on the video. Okay. So I want to do the weight. Essentially, I want to know if we haven't the exit flag. I don't want this to be the only condition. Like, if instant complete, which is, it refers to which one? One of these. It's the opposite of one of them. Was it? Show always. Or fade one done, I think. Anyway, if it's that and you get the input, then we break out of the wait. Right. Yeah, instant complete will allow us to press a button and finish the whole block printing out. So that's normally true. So it's if you're allowed, do it and you get the button. If you're allowed, press a button and you do press the button. Then skip to the end of that. But I'm going to need a new condition, I think. So, and the parameters were 1 maybe. Does this know about the parameters? No, it's a local variable out there. How many references are there to this that I can change without breaking so much? So it's only one other, I think. If I were to add a bool in here. Kevin's special functionality. Let's try it. Yeah, don't want to do that yet. So if we're doing the thing where I put in a comma and the word gibberish or literally anything, set that true, and then when we call do wait, I'm going to pass in functionality. But that means this has to accept a bool called, I don't know, special function. So that'll normally be false in the normal case. So if not special functionality, so need another instant complete and special. I'm winging this very much. And put flag. This is kind of redundant actually, but just for the sake of making it readable. Actually, whenever I change stuff in someone else's script, I'm going to add that. Special functionality is Kevin's fault. Fault in inverted commas. Alright, so what's happening right now? Oh yeah, I didn't set false on the other one. So that's one problem. So it's now looking for 2 arguments, so I have to put false on that. What else did I do wrong? Oh good, it was 4 references to the same problem, essentially. Okay. So... Alright, I'm going to take out my gibberish thing for now. So we're just using the normal thing. So I expect to get what I don't want, is what I expect here. That I will, as it's saying you've got incoming, before it gets as far as watch out, I'm going to press the E key, and I think it'll skip straight to if they're hostile, take them out, without having any time to finish reading the first message. You've got in, skip, if they're hostile, take them out. Okay. So that just proves that I didn't break the original functionality by adding that bool that I added. I wouldn't have really, but proves it. Bleh. I said that could be literally anything. As long as it's comma something, then this parameter list count will be 2. Yeah. And then if it's 2, we're going to do the special functionality, and if the special functionality is here, then this won't be true, so I won't be able to do a break. This won't get called, I don't think. Or actually, this could get called, but it won't do anything, because that's just a comment. But essentially, now that I've added comma bleh, this will never be true, because this is true. It not being true will be false. Does that make sense? I hope you follow me. This entire condition can never be true. This if block won't be called in the case that I've gone comma bleh, and so break won't be called, and so it won't skip to the next thing. And so I'm hoping it just finishes doing its 3 seconds. Without skipping. Does that even give me what I want? Let's see what it gives me anyway. Skip, and it waits. Yeah. Okay, I think we're getting there. So if I skip... No, wait. I have to wait. Skip, 0, 1... Didn't wait very long. Hmm. Now, I don't think that waited for 3 seconds. Let me say 30. So if I skip. No, it seems to be waiting 1 second. Gonna make it 4. 4 is easy to feel. So, what is it doing 1 second? So we're in a while. Time remaining. Duration. Time remaining is straining. Time remaining minus time dot delta time. So I'll just print what duration is coming in. I think it's 1 second actually. Should say 3, but I think it'll say 1. Come on, hurry up and play. Quarters. Oh, this is being called many times. Try that again. I tried if I skip. Alright, so it was 1 second. That time I skipped and I only got 2 messages. Which is what I would expect, but the first time I got loads. Quarter second. There's something I'm not quite getting about how this is working. Do wait. Yeah. Do wait. These are both called do wait, but it is doing this, then calling do wait. Okay. Do wait if it takes different arguments is different from do wait if it takes these arguments. So it doesn't matter that they have the same name because that one takes a list and that one takes a float and a bool. So they are different things. Doesn't matter that they're called the same. Hopefully, when I get a new microphone, I will stop slouching into this one. Just wrecking my back. And it takes up a lot of the webcam view as well. Okay. So why is that getting called so many times? See, the duration's getting hard-coded here, which which I don't understand. Param. Okay, I think I need this too. Because that is the parameter of the first section, which is 3 seconds. But in my case, I was ignoring the fact that there was a first parameter. And I was just saying, there are 2 parameters, great, do this, but I forgot what the first one ought to do. I still don't understand the quarter second, though. So let's see. I'm not going to press skip. Let's see what I'm getting a few quarter seconds, then I'm getting my 4 seconds, okay. And it does wait for 4 seconds, okay. So this time if I skip it, because that's the whole point of what we're trying. If I skip the printout, it goes to here, it says 4, waits 4. Okay, that's good. I still don't understand the quarter second, but I guess it's always been there. Actually, that's not 100% fair to say, I'm not sure, but everything seems to be behaving as normal, except that I'm now seeing this printout here because I put in a printout for duration. So what I want to try is skip it twice. No. Oh yeah, because I haven't put in anything for that, so that's okay. So we're getting there, actually. Okay. If... Right. So what's happening now is similar to what was happening before. You can skip it printing out, but you can't actually skip on to the next thing. And I want to be able to do both. I want it to read itself out. If I press nothing, it reads itself out and moves on after 4 seconds. If I press skip, it prints itself fully out and then waits for 4 seconds, but I can't skip that 4 seconds. And what I want to do is to be able to skip it reading out and stay, and then be allowed to skip the 4 seconds. That's what I can't do. I'm not able to skip a wait time if I have a wait time. But we're about to fix that. With another bool, I guess. Something like is second pressed. And get rid of that print. Oh wait, that won't do it here, because it'll always come in here and be false, so I can't put it here. I guess. Yeah. Bool skip input pressed twice. Let's go back to where we were. So if not skip input pressed twice, so that'll be the first time we go through ever. That'll be correct. So we'll get into this if block and we'll say actually, instead of pressed twice, I'm going to say already pressed once. Just going to rename it. Right. So if it hasn't already been pressed once, now we say it has been pressed once, and so the second time we come in here, I think the don't break be in here, else now we can break. So don't. The hacks are actual like tag references, so I don't really need two in the one place. So I'm just put in hacking so that you saw it went unbold. Like I can search for those hacks, and it's not two hacks, it's just one. I just want to know where it ends. So okay, all right. So the problem is I never set that false again. So skip input already pressed once is false. I guess might as well put it there. I usually want it to be false. Trying not to sneeze. Excuse me. Ah. Excuse me. I get some gum. All right. So I'm wondering if I should put in another else. Because that won't always be true and that won't always be true, so... No, I guess it's going to happen every frame, so... If I put in another else to set already pressed to false, then it'll go false the next frame after I press it. So I'll never be able to press it twice quick enough. Yeah, so... Yeah, I think what I want to avoid is that I don't leave it true after a section and then come back in someday and it's still true, and so I skip the whole thing on the first press. It has to be the second press. Okay. Yeah. The awkward thing about this is Fungus do regular enough updates, and so you re-import all these scripts, and so my changes will be gone if I update Fungus. And Chris is going to try fix that other problem. So, and then put it out in a Fungus update. It's a problem he hadn't seen before. I think only I've reported it. Right, let's see how this works. So I should be able to skip it printing fully, and it stays there. No, it didn't. I think it let's see. I'll debug it a bit. I expect that to be the first thing I see, and this to be the second one I see. Damn, I'm sure that was it. It might be that the input's getting registered while the key is held down instead of pressed down. Yeah, and I only pressed it once, and I got both. I pressed the skip key once, and I got both of these things. One on the next frame, I guess. Actually, just to prove that it is on the next frame, because that's important. The time should read different, obviously, if it's the next frame. If it reads the exact same, then we're calling that twice in this same frame, which I hope we're not. Okay, yeah, it's, you know, it's 0.06 of a second later. So it is happening on the next frame. Which means this whole condition is true on the next frame just because the key is still down. So, and I'm pretty sure it's just because the input flag is still true. So where does that get set true? In the writer. Not sure. It's not where I expected it to be. Unless on next line event is where I expect it to be. Oh great, and it's nowhere. So it's probably called by a message or a string. Or actually maybe that's yeah, it's a, what's the right word? Inherited? So this is going to be overridden somewhere. I assume that that's what's happening. So again, I'm only going to press the E key once, and we're going to try follow where the code's going. Might not be necessary to follow it. I might just use another bool. I thought it would be a real easy solution. Okay, so we did get there. Did I delete the other? Shit, what script was I in with the hacks? I was in, yeah, I was in Writer. Just in a different part of Writer. Let's go back until I... Oh yeah, I did, okay. Okay, I do still want that line. But I want to go back until I also had the other prints. Okay. Find references to that where it is true. And I put back in that line. Okay. I forgot that I'd gotten rid of the two other print lines. I want to see everything. I assume it'll go 1 test 2. And that the time on test and 2 will be the same probably. Oh no, it went test first. 2.675901. Okay, so it just didn't get set to false. Actually, yeah, it makes sense that it was true the first time as well. Or maybe it did get set to false, actually. I didn't debug that, so... I could add somewhere to set input flag to false, like in my own hack. Where should it be setting false? Because I really would have expected it to set true twice. Because you can't just... Maybe it's true until the button comes up. But no, let's do wait for input. Same. This is in... Oh, is that a block I put in? Pretty sure I put that stop in earlier. Why is that unreachable? And why is it complaining? We didn't do any changes to this earlier. To this area anyway, while paused. I didn't notice that before. Unless that isn't where I put the stop in. We were debugging earlier, we put a stop in, and I had a feeling I forgot to take one out. Maybe it was there. Now I'm really hacking in a bad way. Not knowing where I've been. That's why I'm putting in all those other hack comments, but earlier I was just kind of doing as Chris said, and I didn't put in many comments. Didn't change much, we usually undid what we changed, but I don't have Fungus. I have my GitHub ignoring the Fungus folder and all the imported assets. Fungus is free, that's fine, but the paid assets, you can't really upload that to a public GitHub repository. If it's paid stuff and you're just sending it out there for anyone to download for free, because I don't have a private repository. So that would be wrong, so I have to ignore that folder. I don't have to ignore Fungus, but I am, just because it rarely changes. And it's big, because it's got a lot of examples. But it's certainly be worth backing up after this work. Okay. I think I'm going to try set input flag to false in that first place. Actually, I'm going to leave that there again. Right, I'm going to set input flag to false. So that it, hopefully, if I understand what's happening right, it won't be true on the next frame, which is currently what's happening. And hopefully it won't have broken anything else. So I'm just going to press the key once. Now? Soon. Now. Now. Okay, and it stayed up for 4 seconds, I guess. Yep. Okay. Now that time I only pressed it once, so what I want to be able to do is press it twice so that it doesn't have to wait for 4 seconds. Print it, yeah. Skip it straight away. Yep. Looks like it worked. I said that out loud, but I don't believe it yet. So I'm just going to test that a couple of times. You've got incoming. We skipped it. I skipped it, and does it continue? Yes. Okay. Go back, and this time I'll press nothing. Well, I'm flying around a bit, but I'm not going to press any of them. Okay, it advanced through that just fine. This time I'm going to skip, and yeah. Okay. Now, the reason I couldn't skip the last, I don't know if you heard, maybe you could hear me tapping the keyboard. I couldn't skip the last one because it's going to be a custom wait with the comma blah or comma anything. Actually, I think I only need to put in a comma. Even comma with no spaces should do it. Let's just see. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so I can... No, I did actually want it to be 3 seconds. So 3 comma, okay. Then I can actually delete all these wait blocks. Not all, maybe. Yeah, actually definitely not all, but the ones that I'm doing a different kind of hack, a way less intrusive hack. A workaround, actually, is really what it was. I was doing a workaround to get halfway to what I wanted earlier. But now I could either skip or I could wait. And I couldn't do both. Now I can do both. I'm not going to trust it yet. I'll play the demo probably in its entirety after making a few changes, but it appears to work. And let's assume that any changes I need to make, if any, are just easy to do, and I do them probably after the stream. So just getting rid of those debugs. Okay, so let me go through and look for any waits. They're more in the second half. This is a Fungus flowchart. You can lay blocks out however you want, and a lot of them normally in Fungus it's a dialogue choice, like you connect their lines connecting everything, but this is a pretty linear. Actually, there's no dialogue choices you can make. There's only gameplay actions you can take, but you can't actually directly input like in a normal Fungus adventure game. So that's why there's no lines, but essentially I've just laid it out with, here's the first 3 bits, they're all kind of related, and then time is going down this way, if you follow me. So I'm looking for wait blocks. Watch you back, those parts could still be around, wait 3 seconds. And this is one that I'd like I want you always to be able to get rid of what's on screen if you want to. I don't ever want the button that you're used to doing something to not do something when you think it should. Actually, can I undo that? Yeah. So what I used to do was not fade when it's done, which is default, it'll fade when it's done. Don't fade when it's done, and don't wait for a click means it'll print this out. That wasn't there. I just put that in now. So it'll print out those parts could still be around, and then it's finished. So you would assume that it would fade, but if you unclick fade when done, it'll stay. And go on to the next block. And if the next block was any other text, it would go straight to that, but the next block is a wait for 3 seconds. So this stays on screen, and then we wait for 3 seconds, and you can't take any input during this 3 seconds, unless we hacked it, which I thought about, but then we didn't. And then the next block is say this, which is nothing, so it takes no time to say, and fade when you're done. So essentially it's leave this on screen for 3 seconds and then fade. But 3 blocks to do one thing is not ideal, plus you can't skip the 3 seconds. So, and this is really the test I guess. I'm looking for watch your back, those pirates could still be around. Wait 3 comma, yeah. Gonna bravely delete the wait thing and this thing. But now I think I do need it to fade when done. Wait for click will do the flash up the E key thing. So that's not what I want, but like this is the last message of this section, you know? So watch your back. The pirates could still be around. I want that to stay on screen if you do nothing, but then fade after 3 seconds. Like, it'll get to here and wait 3 seconds, then it's done with the text and it will fade when done. But now, because of my comma functionality, I can hopefully just press while it's up. It won't be flashing the E key at me. But if I do press the E key, just because I'm used to pressing it to get rid of text, this will happen. Players just... then it'll skip that 3 seconds and fade and get on with the game. So where is this? This is after I check the bridge. So I want to test that area. So I'll go to the checkpoint of reach rec. It's the closest checkpoint I have. So it's been totally destroyed. Actually, that's one I want to get rid of as well, I think. Yeah, really, I don't like pressing the key and not being able to skip something. So I'm gonna wait 4.5 seconds here. Like I wanted a dramatic pause. It's been totally destroyed. Pause. But also sometimes I just want to skip it. So does that fade when done? No, it doesn't actually. So I need to fade that when done and get rid of this wait. It's been totally destroyed, and 4.5 seconds later it'll move on. I'll then restart just the same. It's been totally destroyed, and I can skip. Yeah. So actually, with that exact message, I'm not sure if that's what I want to do exactly, but here we're waiting for E and nothing will stop it, or nothing will advance it, except pressing E. So, actually the dimmer, yes, sorry, I flew away from it, I need to be over here. So to test the thing that I said would test a minute ago, I have to fly inside this for 5 seconds, just to read the name off the hull. That's her, alright, no signs of, so where are we now? Yeah, it's after the watch your back line. You'll see this play icon move down the list. So press E and move to the next one, or worse. We'll send in an assault checker, not for good. Yeah, and it won't move on until I press E. Then it's going to say watch your back, and how long was the wait going to be? 3 seconds. Or I can skip it. Watch your back, those parts could be around. I'm skipping, and it gets rid of. Okay. Now I kind of want to test that again where I don't press skip. Oh, feck. I pressed it one too many times. At least that only took about 10 seconds to do. Okay. Careful. Watch your back, those parts can still be around. 0, 1, 2, 3. That's about right. Okay, so I'm proving that it's working. I still have a few to change. But oh, I already did that one. Okay. Does that fade when done? No. Should it? Crap, what did I do here? Oh, actually, it doesn't matter if this fades when done because there's a say block right after it. I do check the comments, by the way. There just are none. If you're out there, let me know you're out there. Are you out there? Thin Lizzy reference. Okay. Wait 2.5 seconds. I'll take them out before they can call reinforcements. Yeah, so there's another place where I go say, wait, and then say nothing. So these are the things I'm getting rid of. So I'll just faithfully stick with 2.5 seconds. Comma. I feel I should make that comma more obvious. Like, comma, capital letters, I changed something. But, you know what? Running forward, try to take him out, but watch for asteroids. Wait 2 seconds and fade, so there's another place. Essentially, whenever there were enemies about, I didn't want to leave anything on screen, so... Wait 2, comma. So I'm not going to test every one of these on stream. I've tested enough of them. Does that fade when done? Yes, oh shit. It should fade when done. Don't need that one. That's the end of that one. I'd say I don't think we use this now. Yeah, this is something we put in trying to solve the problem that essentially was just another way to get to the same problem. Hacking it turned out to be the only way to get what I wanted. I'm not sure how clear I was with Chris about exactly how I wanted it to work. And so he did suggest certain things that, you know, solved A or B, but not A and B together. It's probably my fault for not being more clear about what I was trying to do, but we got there now, and I'll show him the code. He says probably not something he wants to put in because it's pretty specific to my case. So there's no need to clutter or confuse the normal Fungus users. But I mean, could go put it on the forum and say, I have a solution for this. If anyone's asking. This one's okay, isn't it? It's waiting, yeah. Anything that's already waiting for click is fine, because that's where the E key flashes up, and that's what you'd normally expect. And from an adventure game, it's just when there's enemies around, I don't want to make you press E to get rid of something while you're focusing on doing something else. Yeah, that one's wait. Oh, this one isn't. What's this one? They're running for it, try to take them out. Oh, I did that one, okay. Wait, comma. Wait for click. Sorry, that one. Wait for click is fine. Anything that's wait for click is fine. It's fine. It's fine. Wait 1 second. Cover me tutorial. Wait. Say that. Yep, that's fine. Wingman information. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's something we put in earlier as well. Man, I really didn't tidy up after earlier. Or at least we were on for 90 minutes longer and didn't remember everything we'd done. Or everything we tried. We essentially did nothing. But left a bit of debris around from trying to do things. That's waiting. That's waiting. Nearly there. This is the one. Possibly something in the last one, but this is definitely the one where there'll be a bit. Wait, okay. Say sensor show multiple incoming contacts. Arrow Squadron, do you see them? I'm only waiting 1 second, but yeah, essentially here I timed. You know, I broke the flow of how it was working before. Get rid of that because I'm waiting for a second now. I broke the flow of the E key actually doing things before and just had these specifically spaced things going on. And that is, I think, the final other thing we were trying to do earlier. Oh yeah, it's not 4. That should actually be 2.5 because of here. This is what I'm replacing. The old weight 2.5. Do this, and then now I've got a bad feeling that I didn't do fade when done on some of these, but it'll become obvious as I playtest it later. Does that one have to fade? No, because this one's straight after it. Actually, it's no harm. This one does fade. Wait 3 seconds. No, I'm going to do the new style of wait. Wait equals 3, comma. Yeah, sorry, getting rid of that. Getting rid of that. Does fade when done? No, should. I keep forgetting to do fade when done when I put in the comma. Okay. And this is the last one. I think it's... Oh no, there's one still in here. So it's 3 seconds I want to wait. I want this fade when done. Wait equals 3, comma. Get rid of the hard 3, get rid of the fade. And mission complete. And that should be it. Okay. That deserves at least a stretch. Okay, let's get the... That's what we did last week, so done. Fungus hack. Wait. Or... Wait. It's actually wait and or skip. That's what I'll call it when I do a... Actually, no, I can't commit the fungus stuff because I'm ignoring it. But anyway, that's what we did on the stream. This is what I said. This is in fact this time. Last time I said next time we'll do fungus, so we did. Gift capture I said we might do if depending on how long fungus took. Maybe we'll do that. There's no one in the chat to ask today. I would say, do you want to do more fungus or gift capture? I think I'm going to see if there's fungus we can do, because if there's a single, this is the fungus episode, that's more useful to the fungus community, I guess. So let's see, was there something else we could do that's easy? There, I have a bug list I'm looking at on the other monitor. Okay, fungus, radial menus and pause, fungus execution, right. There was a write speed that we could get in and change. What was the text principle? That's the fungus bug, and we tried that the other day and it wrecked my head. Where the director thing. So as your text is printing out, if it's short text, your wait button's still all the way over here. I'll drag it out. It's just bigger. The wait button being over here is too far from if your text is only short. Like, they look completely disconnected. So I wanted the continue button to hold in close to the length of, or to the width of the text. But to do that, I did ask Chris, was there somewhere where they're hard setting the location of this in Fungus code, and just because I wasn't having luck with the horizontal layout group, and he said there shouldn't be. But there was one place it might have been. Essentially, there were 4 things to do. One of them we've done. One of them is a fungus bug, and so it's not mine to fix, I guess. It'll be fine, hopefully. Chris is on it. He told me he was. So then the continue thing with the anchors, which I hate, which you probably know. It's boring to look at, it's boring to do, it's frustrating to get right. Never works first time, never works how you think. So I'm not too eager to do more UI on the stream, which leaves the time thing. So I'll demonstrate that. That has to be off again. Okay. Okay. Done with fungus. Actually, we're not. This is still a fungus thing, but I don't need the flowchart anymore. Where I need to go to a particular checkpoint of reaching the wingmen. Okay. So I'm not entirely sure if this is something we did on the screen, or on the stream, but while that is up, right? That's the fungus box, right? It's mostly transparent, but you got the character face, the text, E key. So that's there. Oh crap, look. If you've watched before... Oh, no, it's not doing it. The arrow fighter is basically look like it's swapping between 2 frames of animation. Like it should turn a little. Should do a little bit of a tilt. But when it's still there, it was swapping between 2 frames. But it's not doing it now that I've maximized. Maybe it was just pixels glitching. Yeah, can you see that? When I'm at a diagonal, I think it's just the pixels actually trying to be in 2 places at once. Just bad resolution fit, I guess. It's fine there, and then probably very jittery down smaller. Alright, it's paused while I'm dragging. Yeah, definitely jittery there, and no, it's still doing it a bit here. Goddamn. So new. There's really quickly. I won't make this our current problem, but I'm gonna try watch 2 things at once. That should constantly read 58 unless I'm turning like now. But when I see a jitter down here and they're only quick, then I would expect that to not be flip X, right? That'll do it as well. See, I can create that jitter by inverting X. If I invert Y, it'd be even weirder. But flip X is happening, I think. So that's a bug that I will write down. That's one to look at later. Okay. The problem, back to the fungus thing. There's the fungus box. You can see that it is up and it is active. If I press escape, I didn't want it to still be there. Like this is partially transparent. You can see the fighter behind it. It's just the current style of it. We might change it, but whatever. This is a placeholder. But I didn't want that still, like one piece box would have been under this text here. It would have been bad. Similarly, when we brought up the map, the fungus box was still there, and when we brought up the radial menu, the fungus box was still there. So I can't remember exactly the fix we used. Let's see. Was it to deactivate it? No. Oh yeah, you see the canvas turning on and off. So if I turn it back on, it's on. That was the solution, because when I turned it off, like in the middle of a message, the errors happened. When I turned the game object off. So essentially I just stopped it from showing instead of stopping it from being. Made it invisible. And now that is fine. That the text that prints out happens in update, right? So when it said it got as far as glad to see you, and then I come in here and I set the time scale to 0 to pause, essentially. And if the time scale is 0, then update isn't happening at all. Like, it won't tick over, and so the fungus write script isn't happening. All right, sorry, I think that's actually a coroutine. But same thing. If it's waiting for time.delta time. Yeah, it is waiting for time.delta time, and there is now no change in time because the time scale is 0. So when I unescape, it'll start printing out from after the word "you're still," probably in one piece boss. Yeah. Now the problem I want to solve, that's fine when this also sets the time scale to 0, go to the map. If you open, I'll have to restart. If you open the radial menu, oh shit, there's another problem. Escape is no longer pausing the game. Here's another bug. The game after orders tutorial. Right. So I can't even restart in the game now, so just restart editor play. So if text is happening, right, and I do this, you can see the craft are still moving. It reduces time to about 1/10 or something. And so the canvas is off. Canvas is off, but the text is still coming out. So that's just 1, 2, 3, 4 is just the text I placehold in it. But now once we start talking, right, glad to see you're still in one, and the color here is setting everything after that to clear, so you can't see it, and then printing out. So it's now printed that whole message while it was invisible. It did at least do it in slow motion. What I want to avoid is where there are certain fungus blocks, so I guess I wasn't done with this, where it says something and once it's finished, we don't wait for click, we just go into a thing straight away for like call method or something like that. So if this were to print out while we were in slow motion and couldn't see it, then an important message might come up. And unless it's waiting for click, this one is, okay, bad example, but if it's an important message near the time where there's dog fighting about to happen, like the whole thing we've been working on earlier, then that message will come up. It'll possibly wait its 1 or 2 seconds. In slow motion, it's going to be 10, 20 seconds. But it's certainly reasonable to think 10 seconds might pass in this menu. It'll wait that time and then disappear, and you won't have read it at all because the canvas was off the whole time. So the message came and went, and it might have been important. And now it's gone when you resume it. Whoops. When you get out of here. Pretend that's gone. Then the message is gone, and you didn't know a message even happened. Or at least you saw it start, but you were pressing Q, and when you came back, it was gone. Don't want that. So I needed to pause the execution of that, even though the timescale isn't 0. The timescale is like 0.1. So how am I going to do that? Because I don't think the Fungus scripts can see the other things, like my own static scripts. I don't think it knows about them. Yeah, like my tools script, it doesn't know about it. Oops. The reason Fungus doesn't know about my scripts is that it's in Pro Standard Assets folder. Essentially nothing in here knows about anything outside of it, if that's the right way to describe it. But you know when you do this compile, little circle every time you leave Mono Develop after saving and come back to Unity, it won't look for stuff in Pro Standard Assets or Editor. So there's tons of scripts in here. Large number of them are Fungus. There's a large Sprite Slicer 2D. There's a few others. Colorify has a couple. And so if you save a script, the more and more scripts you add to the game, it'll take longer to do that wheelie dealy and then be ready to play. And that just gets frustrating. So you can put scripts that you don't need, and a good example is plugin type scripts like Fungus. Put them in a Pro Standard Assets folder, and it'll not read through all of them every time it compiles new code, unless you're saving a specific Fungus script. Like it did compile for a long time when I went to spacebar and a save. It'll compile for a while. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and I've clicked play. Now it's done, and maybe I missed play. I thought I clicked play. But if I'm in one of my normal scripts, it takes about 5 seconds. So I just add white space to that, and I come back and be like 5 seconds. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I don't know. It stopped turning, but yes, it's certainly quicker. So there's good reasons to keep Fungus in there, but it doesn't know about my script that keeps track of is the game paused and stuff. So I think it's the writer anyway will do. It has something to do with the speed. Oh, it's a very long script though. Did I put in a to do earlier? I did. No, wait, it's not the right one. I should put in a hack here. Yeah. Is there another to do? There wasn't. Crap. So maybe it wasn't in here. Man, I was sure I'd put it to do in. No, that's not the one either. In where Chris told me that I should put that I should look to start changing the timescale. Pretty sure it was writer because that's what starts writing things out. So, alright, what functions do we have in here? It's not an awake anyway, it's not in start. Two words. Looking for something to do with time, timer, length, or time scale. Current writing speed. Actually, there we are. If delay between characters is greater than 0. If time accumulator is greater than 0. Right. Essentially what I need to do is change the current writing speed, but it's all just in here. Oh, wait, no. That might not be true again. Yeah, sorry. There is a tag for it. Old current size. Writing speed, okay. Characters per second. Okay, that's well and good, but how do I change that from my pause script, you know? Someone had a solution. Let's see. On the Fungus forum, Chris said. So in the other window, just gonna quickly Google. Unity Fungus forum. What do we call it? Change the current writing speed. Yeah. Currently, there, of course, there wouldn't be any perfect result. Let's see. Where will I bring it? Bring it into the screen, just so you're not looking at nothing. Sorry, the stream chat was disconnected, it seemed. But it seems alright now. No one is chatting, so that's fine. Right, say. Come on. Right, that was a blog. Okay, let's go to the Fungus forum. Search for current writing speed. Here's Chris. I think that's what we found, isn't it? If delay between characters, yeah. Yeah, this doesn't sound like a solution to changing the current writing speed yourself. As I pointed out, I could drag Fungus out of the Pro Standard assets into the project, but frankly I'm not willing to wait 16 seconds every single time I change any code. I'm already waiting like 7 minutes. Annoying enough. So there'll be other ways to do this. Can my normal scripts see Fungus scripts? Probably not. Probably just the same way. Oh, maybe. No. It's not like an instance of it. Or is there? It's Fungus namespace. Writer. Public. I do wish I was better at coding, but you learn things. So right, he said there is a solution to this problem on the forums. That was, I guess, not it. That was the only result, though. I think. It just replies to the same issue. So there was only one. And all text in single frames, increasing the value should have no effect. Yeah, I mean, one solution here would be messy, but whatever. We're already being pretty messy. I'm going to add a Fungus block. Come here. How do I move that? Boy, that's weird. It's simultaneously dragging and moving the block. Alright, this block's going to be called change writing speed. Oh, yeah. God damn it. Alright. Let's just see what we can do. It executes on message received. So message received is going to be pause writing. At least we're going to try it. And it needs a, I guess a say block will do it. Or, yeah, whatever, say. Okay, maybe just a write block. Where do you get them? I wonder if this will work without me giving it an object. But I'm going to put in the tag for write speed. Where was it again? I think it was WS, but oh, it's just S equals 60 or whatever. Okay, now you would think s equals 0, 0 writing speed, that'll pause it, but no. As it says here, setting writing speed to 0 writes the text out instantly. So that's not what we need. I'm aware that the stream is now at 2 hours, just about, so be wrapping up any minute. Hopefully we'll try something that makes this work, but I don't know, Chris did say that this solution was here, or at least someone addressing the problem. But I don't, there's no, this looks to be the full thing, like thanks, goodbye kind of way. Okay, so he does an update, future reference, putting writing speed at 0, yields the same performance, and text loads all at once. But you still get a pause if you want on punctuation and any wait commands. Is there a Fungus pause block that I'm not aware of? I think this error is because we didn't give it a game object. Just drag in the objective text. Yeah, that got rid of it. So is there a Fungus block for here? For pause, it would be in flow. No, so that's not what he was referring to. Stop. I don't think stop is what we're looking for. And the narrative, just say is what you use the most. The narrative say. Oh yeah, control. The stage is for if you're a picture-based adventure game and you want to move elements around. Okay, so that pause is not what he's saying. Let's just read it fully. Maybe there was something. Still get a pause on any punctuation and any wait commands. See, the wait was I don't think there was many options on the wait. It was just like wait for this long. What is it? Flow, wait, await frames. That's pretty much the same as wait, except it's frames instead of seconds. What I needed to do, remember, is to just pause printing out the message, like, hey boss, good to see you, would just be, hey boss, good, and just stop there until I've resumed the game's normal speed. But I'm at 1/10 speed. It works fine if I put the speed to 0, but I have a case where I set to slow-mo, so I want it to type out in slow-mo. Or actually, there's a case where I do want it to type in slow-mo, but in this case with the radial menu, I want it to just stop. So it sort of makes sense if you're in here in the middle of a thing and you jump out to that new block to pause and then manage to resume exactly where you were or something, but I don't think you can jump back into a block at the point where you were at run time or anything. You can do like loops and pauses and breaks, but they're just part of the setup. You can't really do it on the very frame that a player presses a certain button. Not that I'm aware of. Should be able to. And what I'm realizing is you can sort of hack a lot into this. It's an open source thing anyway. But just in terms of the functionality that's there, finish reading that. Right, that's not the solution. And it's kind of pointless to I'm not even sure if jumping out here would stop the execution on other things. Fungus does do that if you've like two say dialogues going, it just picks the newer one. That's why I put in a write, but I'm not sure if that would also block it. If it didn't block it, then I could jump out here and set the text not to 0 because that would write it out instantly, but I could set it to something really, really slow. So it's virtually paused, but that's not really the solution either. Well, functionality first maybe, but so it was 60 characters a second, so if I have like 0.000001 characters a second, man, does that mean to the computer even? I don't know. Let's just say a millionth of a second or something. I didn't count the zeros. Okay, let's say the message received is pause writing. Let's duplicate this because I want one to resume. Oh God, it's doing something weird. Pause writing, resume writing. S equals. I believe it was 60. It's the only place I've seen it written down so far. It was 60. So I want to send messages. Resume writing with, let's say, no space. Pause writing with no space. Okay, so when I go radial menu, when I turn on the radial menu, it's this script. Operate. Okay, no. Activate comes on before that. Okay. Activate radial menu. Do I refer to Fungus already? I don't. No, it's tools. No, director. If my director instance script has Fungus, no, flowchart. Yeah. The flowchart is the Fungus flowchart. If I have one of them in the scene, how do I do it? Send Fungus message. Oh yeah. Director instance flowchart send Fungus message. It's like send message but to Fungus. What was it? What did I write? Pause writing. What did I call it? To be very specific. The message on this was pause writing. Yeah. To the one resume writing. Yeah, spell that right. Save that. This is only a test, might not work. And then resume, deactivate radial menu. It's going to be resume writing. I don't know, it's not necessarily resuming writing. If there was no writing up, it's not going to resume anything, but I'm just changing the writing speeds. So which checkpoint do I want to be at? This one is fine. So it's hey boss, I hope you're something. Hey, glad to see your. Let's check. the... There it is, story text. No, it's finished writing out. So, let's see, does that get called? Might be because it's right, might have to do a say. Alright, looking on the story text one, see how fast it prints out. I think it's not changing at all. Yeah, it's coming out slowly, but it's as slowly as it used to be. We don't appear to have gotten in here at all. Let me just test that a bit better with a... Obviously the change of speed didn't work, but let's put in a test say or something. No, not tests. So as soon as I pause the story, you should see a play icon up here. That's one simple way to look at it. Okay, we did get up there. Really briefly, though. Oh, and then we came back down here. Where are we now? Glad to see some of these. So it finished that one and went on to this one. No, it's still doing them simultaneously. Or at least it jumped back. It briefly was where it was meant to be. But it didn't actually slow the writing speed. And it came right back here. Alright, so I'm going to end the stream. So I guess we weren't successful in changing the writing speed. Why are they still here? Right click, delete, okay. Okay, well we got one thing right anyway. I guess the last half an hour we did a bit of learning, but didn't fix what we wanted to. It's gonna hold Control Z and undo those few changes. Save. Okay. So let's have a look at the streaming notes before we go. Okay. Show you a bit of new concept art for the bar actually before we go. Pilot's bar. So that's what this is starting to look like. Where your pilots will sit and drink and talk and be sad about all their dead comrades on the wall and stuff like that. And I think it'd be like news from the TV. You see space outside. Yep, hopefully that's nice. I showed more concept art. I think it was 2 episodes back. Start of the second last one. Yeah, from a week ago, I guess. So it'll be the 21st of October, or November is the date you're looking for. If you want to see that, it's at the start of the stream. Okay, so the next day on the stream, I guess we can do the GIF capture from videos. I will now test that fungus stuff and get rid of the couple of bugs we recorded there. They're not... We've sort of already done this on the stream and fixed bugs with it. Maybe I didn't fully get it, but it's not going to be majorly interesting. This is just, yeah, I'm just toggling something on when I wanted it off or something. That's fine, I'll fix that. Do the GIF capture next time. I guess we still can do more fungus stuff. If I could figure that out, I might solve it on stream or something. Yes, so I'm not entirely sure what we'll do on Thursday. GIF capture definitely makes sense. Particularly because it's made with Unity Friday the next day, so it might be good to have some new promo GIFs to show off. So that's Thursday at 8 p.m. Irish time, it's UTC. And yeah, the Monday stream's 3 p.m., Thursday's 8 p.m. I still don't know what time suits most people. I get a few people on each day, so I guess I will just see you on Thursday. Definitely feel like I'm forgetting to say something. Do check out the blog on RetroNeoGames.com. It went up last night. Did a few reviews of games for the Player 2 thing we write. And way more important than that, do please play the demo of this game that's on the site. RetroNeoGames.com, Sons of Soul, Crow's Nest, image on the main page, and then click the download PC build. It'll only work on PC, but it runs on... It's pretty good running on laptops or like low-powered machines because it's mostly sprite stuff. It's not too demanding. You can use a gamepad or the keyboard. It's built well for the keyboards. You don't need a gamepad. And I'll talk to you on Thursday. Bye-bye.